So, we're here. Welcome. I'm going to play some Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm going to get all the emeralds. That's right. Emerald runs. From here on out, I'm going to get the emeralds. That's pretty much what differs this from when I normally play it, but I got it all figured out. I figured it out. Anyway, let's start with the Green Hill Zone. Everyone knows the Green Hill Zone. If you don't, this is the Green Hill Zone. Rings kind of function like your hit points, so collect as many as you want, and if you just lose them, you can just get them back, and maybe not have to worry about too much, which usually means my source of dying would be mostly falling off of shit, or spikes, other stuff like that. Although you might expect it's like, oh yeah, Sonic, I gotta run as fast as I possibly can. That's a mistake. That's a big mistake in any Sonic game, actually, for the most part. Not until they start... I guess not until really Sonic, like, Adventure or something. Or more like Sonic Colors, but... if you are into precision platforming, then maybe you got Sonic figured out. It's like, you have occasional bursts of speed, which you should be getting used to help you go over obstacles like this loop-de-loop. Unless you're already over and you have a shield. I always try to keep a shield with me. To get the emeralds, I'm going to have 50 rings by the end of each stage. Although, once I have all 6, not 7 yet, emeralds, I don't have to worry about the requirement anymore. So I'm going to have them all before Labyrinth. Which is good, because I don't want to try to... I don't know how many rings you can keep in Labyrinth without, like, going insane. But I think I may have gotten away with plenty of that before. Kind of surprised myself this way through. It was just this one special stage that wanted to be an ass, but... I think sometimes it's just... I think Sonic 1 special stages might be the hardest. And it's not as if the others aren't hard, this is just hard in a way that seems annoying. As in, you're just bouncing all over the place. Pretty much like a pinball machine. Which for some reason I'm not as good as I might think. So it feels a bit like RNG to me. The rest of it is just like practice, practice, practice. This is just, it either works or it doesn't. And it's not even like a 3D special stage, but hey, we're in the trippy psychedelic vaporwave zone. That's where you want to be. That's where we store all the Chaos and their emeralds. You know, you can get Chaos Emeralds on Amazon for $15 if you want to be your local tyrannical Eggman. Not sure how much I need to explain about Sonic, but hey, just watch it happen. It goes by pretty quick, this game. Even when you're not even trying to run all that fast. Just the nature of it. It's kind of arcadey. And as a result, I just pause in between zones, more or less. Just to give you a breather, or to give myself a breather, mostly so I can get those special stages. But that's pretty much the only caveat of the whole thing. I'd say otherwise, yeah, pretty good. That's what they want to tell me. The Sonics that are above me. The weirdest thing is that I think I failed a few tries. It turned out I was like the tiniest bit sick. Like, so tiny I didn't even notice, but there was a few tells from dexterity that determine whether you're not your best or not. And it's not being physically tired. It's not that. You gotta run really fast now. Get all the robot fish, contrary to popular belief. The animals are not turned into robots. The robots just use animals as fuel. Eventually, Eggman / Dr. Robotnik stops doing that. / not Bowser / not King Koopa. Eventually, he learns to use other power sources, or at least tries not to rely on the fact that he probably won't get all the Chaos Emeralds in one go. Come to think of it, though, I don't know how Eggman ends up getting the Chaos Emeralds in the bad endings anyway. Like, I want to see Eggman do those special stages, you know? That's gotta be hard as shit for, like, a normal freaking human. Considering he can't roll like a pinball. I could be wrong. Some say Eggman looks like Jamie Hyden. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. Let's do another special stage. Yeah. As you might imagine, because of how this went, that means I'm already in the running for doing Sonic 2. That is a given. Same with like Sonic 3 Knuckles and Sonic CD. Probably Sonic Mania. some point. When I decide to. I haven't decided how to resolve those Mania Plus mechanics yet. The plus mode, or whatever that is, stuff is. Haven't decided yet. This one thing at a time. The only thing is that normally, you know, if you get all the emeralds, not in the first game, you go super. And that kind of changes the flow of the level dramatically. That's the one thing. Although there's a lot of good ROM hacks for Sonic, so I mean, you can expect some of those, maybe. I don't know how soon. I'd really have to, like, grease my hands on that to find Sonic hacks I'd actually be looking for. Although I have found a couple of them, mainly the Sonic Megamix one, which wasn't really complete in the first place, and the guy made it end up going and make Sonic Mania. This is going to be less about how to play Sonic and more like a impromptu what I know about Sonic or want to share with you, since, I mean, even when I'm playing like Mario, it's just like, yeah, you've played it. Or people have talked about it at length. Enough to fill like entire encyclopedia volumes. So I'm almost like just a drop in the ocean in that respect. But I have much to add to the Sonic world. I think I tried being a part of a few Sonic communities, but you know, I got over it. I got over it. Turns out you just want to be good at Sonic games and not so much be like, yo, let me hang out with some other Sonic fans. Like, it turns out I was never like that. Even though I was curious about some aspects of the Sonic community, however that works, I don't honestly know. It was funny though, because I basically like, I had this old friend and like, he was more into Zelda and I was more into Sonic, so we basically traded like our knowledge of the franchise and lore, and so now I know a lot of Zelda too, and he knows a lot of Sonic, and he got into it maybe too much. Enough for fanfiction. And I was never ever going to go that far, even though I kind of did like, I did have a DeviantArt stint for a little bit there. I've gotten rid of it since. I have no need for it now. In fact, I have no need for DeviantArt for other reasons that have nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with anything. It's just a phase, a few-year phase that just went away, and it's not even that long anymore. It's just more like you want to have other artists commission stuff you want to see, since I wasn't really a drawer type. So, yeah. But I've been with Sonic since nearly the beginning. My first Sonic game was actually Sonic 2. It didn't take me that long to play Sonic 1 afterwards, though. But I've known about the Sonic franchise since I was literally like 4 or 5. Okay? So, yeah. I'm one of those people that didn't understand the Nintendo Sega Wars, since, to me, I just had them like side by side practically. Even though the Genesis was never actually... I never actually owned the Genesis. There's other people I know had them, plenty of Genesis stuff, and it was cool and all that. Plus, you know, you get to experience Mortal Kombat 4 or 10, and that's an experience. Especially since this was the Sega stuff and not the Nintendo censored stuff, and you're just like, oh boy, violence, you know. The good times. Oh man, that reminds me of that time I was home alone. So I was just living somewhere at my neighbor's for the entire freaking summer. Waking up, eating a banana, playing some Sonic, going to summer school. That was the life. I can't tell you how many times I've been, like, home alone, honestly. Just like that kid. What? No. So, fun exploit. If you know the invincibility is, well, this boss is pretty much yours. Not that I need any help beating the boss, but I thought it was funny that I did that. I almost pulled this off in another zone, but not quite, because I was basically not trying to rush myself. I didn't want to screw myself over, be like, I'm invincible, run as fast as hell, but, you know, just because you're invincible doesn't mean you're immune to death, okay? It just means nothing else can hurt you other than your own stupidity, which is what can happen if you fall off the face of the earth. Like, you're invincible, you're in outer space, and it's just like, well, now what?